Coming up on this week's Falcon Fever, find out how the nationally ranked baseball team is doing in the PBC standings.
And the golf team looks to travel to Callaway Gardens to participate in the PBC tournament.
Plus, UM's first track and field team is back in action after spring break. Falcon Fever starts now. Hello and welcome to Falcon Fever, your home for all of Montevallo sports coverage. I'm Michael Artris.
And I'm Chloe Allen. Thanks so much for joining us. The baseball team hosted a top-ranked opponent over the weekend.
The nationally ranked Falcons kicked off the holiday weekend with a 3-game series against the USC Aiken Pacers, the number 6 team in the Division II polls. The teams faced off in the first of a 3-game series on March 29th, and the first 2 games featured a combined 38 runs. The Falcons jumped out to a 9-1 lead in the 4th inning, though slowly allowed Aiken back into the game. Junior Jackson Slade and freshman Michael Simmons led the Falcons to a 12-10 win, each going 3 for 5 at the plate. In Game 2 of the doubleheader, Montevallo took a 1-run lead in the 1st inning and eventually led the game 3-1 during the 4th. The Pacers then closed the gap and took the lead 7-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Falcons closed the gap to 7-6, but eventually lost 10-6.
On March 30th, the teams met up for the final game of the series. The Falcons played strong throughout the game, with senior Austin Dubberly batting in 2 home runs. Junior Josh Clemon pitched a complete game, earning the win in the Falcons' 6-1 victory. Dubberly finished his monster game with 2 runs of his own, going 3 for 5 on the day. On April 2nd, the Falcons were on the road to take on West Alabama in a non-conference matchup. The game was very tight from start to finish, with very little scoring. The teams went into the 9th inning tied at 1 when Austin Dubberly drove in junior Todd Thompson to win the game 2-1. Freshman Jeremy Hyde led the Falcons at the plate, going 3 for 4 on the day.
As of showtime today, the Falcons are preparing to take on Alabama Huntsville on the road. On April 9th, the Falcons will return home to face visiting Miles College and then head back out on the road on the 13th and 14th to face Francis Marion in the 3-game series.
Switching gears now to tennis. After dropping a home match against BYU Hawaii, the Falcons hit the road for a 3-match road trip. The women's tennis team opened its critical 3-match road trip in a dominant fashion Thursday as the Falcons posted a lopsided 5-0 triumph against Fort Valley Wildcats. Sophomore Nikki Polsarova contributed to that score by defeating Gabriela Lewis of Fort Valley State 6-1, 6-1 in the #1 singles match. After that big win, the Falcons head to Georgia for a conference match against Clayton State University on March 29th. The number 32 Clayton State defeated UM 8-1. The Falcons returned to action March 30th with another Peach Belt Conference match on the road at Armstrong Atlantic State University. But the Falcons' struggle continued as Armstrong Atlantic won 9-0. The team was hoping to turn things around with a match against West Alabama earlier today, but that match was canceled because of weather concerns. Athletic officials say the match will not be rescheduled. The Falcons swing back into action Sunday to kick off a series of home matches to wrap up the season. First, the team hosts the University of North Georgia next Tuesday. The Falcons take on PBC rival Young College. Then the team will wrap up their season next Wednesday with a match against Alabama Huntsville.
Now, let's switch out our tennis rackets for our golf clubs. After the men's golf team's 11th place finish in the Bearcat Classic tournament, the team returned to action earlier this week. The Falcons took part in the Buccaneer Invitational Tournament, April's 1st and 2nd, hosted by Barry University at Normandy Shores Golf Club, and they finished 11th place in team standings. The Falcons collectively carded a 31 over par, 56 shots behind tournament winner Nova Southeastern University. Senior Andrew Lowry led the Falcons with a 5 over par, tying for 26th overall in individual standings. The Falcons will take 2 weeks off before heading to Callaway Gardens in Pine Mountain, Georgia to participate in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament on April 18th through the 20th. The tournament will be hosted by Columbus State University.
The track and field team continued their inaugural season over the weekend. After resting up over spring break, the team competed in the Emory University Classic in Georgia. The Falcons finished 9th overall in a field of 13 teams, with sophomore Madison Brown bringing home the team's first individual win in a field event on the season. Brown won the javelin throw with a distance of 122 feet 9 inches. She was also named the PBC Track and Field Athlete of the Week. Kaylee Glover finished 3rd in the 10,000-meter run, while junior Shea Bonner finished 4th in the 100-meter hurdles. The team will be back in action on the 12th when they compete in the Mississippi College Open, and then again on the 19th and the 20th as they compete in the Peach Belt Conference Championship meet at Shorter University in Rome, Georgia.
This brings us to our Falcon Fever Fan of the Week.
This week's featured fan is Tracy Payne-Rockco. Tracy Payne is the director of the Alumni Affairs at the university and is a huge Falcon fan. Congratulations, Tracy, and we appreciate your support. Remember, you can get more Falcon Fever on YouTube and through social media.
You can watch current and past episodes of Falcon Fever on the MassCom YouTube channel. Just search for Montevallo for You.
On Facebook, be sure to add us as a friend or subscribe to our updates. On our Facebook page, you'll find links to sports stories throughout the week and live updates from the games. You can also leave us a comment and talk about recent games, or give a shout out to your favorite UM athlete.
You can also follow us on Twitter. Just search for UM Falcon Fever. And if you do, leave us a comment on our Facebook or Twitter, and we might feature it on next week's show.
And last but not least, you can give extended UM sports coverage on MontevalloFalcons.com. There you can also find team rosters, live stats, pictures, and more. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's show.
Be sure to tune in again next week. We'll see you then.